Imagine it's 2 a.m. You're sprawled on your couch, the glow of your phone the only light in the room. The notifications have stopped. Your group chat is silent. The Netflix queue is empty, and for once you don't hit next episode. It's just you, the hum of the fridge, and a creeping sense of unease. That silence, it's not just quiet. It's loud. It's the kind of quiet that forces you to hear your own thoughts, the ones you've been dodging all day with work, TikTok, or that third coffee run. Welcome to the raw, unfiltered reality of loneliness. It's not about missing people, it's about missing you. In a world obsessed with staying connected, X posts, Zoom calls, happy hour plans, being alone feels like a glitch. We're taught to fill every second with noise, to chase likes, followers, or that next big win. But what happens when the noise stops? When the crowd fades and it's just you staring into the void? That's where the real journey begins. Today we are diving into the heart of loneliness, not as a curse, but as a teacher. With the wisdom of two philosophical giants, Søren Kierkegaard and Arthur Schopenhauer, we'll explore why being alone can feel so brutal, why it's also a hidden superpower, and how you can transform that aching emptiness into a life-changing strength. If you're tired of running from yourself, if you're ready to face the mirror, stick with me. This isn't just another self-help pep talk. This is about finding the courage to come home to you. Part 1. The Mirror of Loneliness. Kierkegaard's wake-up call. Let's start with a truth bomb. Loneliness isn't just about being physically alone. It's about being alone with yourself and realizing you don't know who's staring back. Søren Kierkegaard, the 19th century Danish philosopher who wrestled with the human soul like a spiritual cage fighter, called this the existential despair of modern life. Picture him as that friend who doesn't sugarcoat things. He's here to tell you that the unease you feel when you're alone isn't random. It's a signal, a blaring alarm from your soul saying, "Hey, you're living a lie." Think about it. We spend our days curating versions of ourselves for the world. The witty X posts, the polished LinkedIn profile, the I'm fine smile at the office happy hour. We're so busy performing, being the perfect employee, the cool friend, the Instagram-worthy partner, that we lose track of who we are when the spotlight's off. Kierkegaard saw this as a kind of spiritual betrayal. Every time you mold yourself to fit someone else's expectations, you chip away at your true self. And when you're alone, with no one to perform for, that truth hits hard. The silence strips away the filters, and you're left with the gap between who you are and who you've pretended to be. Let me paint a picture. Sarah's a 32-year-old marketing manager in Chicago. Her life looks perfect on paper. Great job, cute apartment, a packed social calendar. But on a random Tuesday night, when her friends cancel dinner plans and her phone's quiet, she feels it. That hollow ache. She scrolls X, binges a true crime doc, anything to avoid the quiet. Why? Because in that quiet, she hears questions she's afraid to answer. Am I happy? Why do I feel so empty? Who am I when I'm not on for everyone else? That's the despair Kierkegaard's talking about. It's not just sadness, it's the pain of realizing you've been a stranger to yourself. Kierkegaard believed this discomfort is no accident. It's a call to authenticity. Loneliness is the universe's way of saying, stop running. Face yourself. It's like a spiritual detox, forcing you to confront the parts of you you've buried under deadlines, DMs, and distractions. For Kierkegaard, the real tragedy isn't being alone. It's living a life where you're never truly present. You can be surrounded by people, crushing it at work, racking up followers, and still be lost if you're disconnected from your core. Loneliness, then, is a mirror. It shows you the truth. You can't outrun yourself forever. But here's the kicker. That mirror isn't meant to break you. It's meant to wake you up. Kierkegaard saw despair as a starting point, not an end. It's the moment you realize you have a choice, to keep hiding behind masks or to start the messy, beautiful work of becoming who you're meant to be. That work isn't easy. It takes courage to ask, "Who am I when no one's watching?" It takes guts to sit with the answer. But that's where the transformation begins. Loneliness isn't your enemy. It's your first step toward truth. Part 2. The Power of Solitude, Schopenhauer's Inner Fortress. Now, let's shift gears. While Kierkegaard's holding up a mirror to your soul, Arthur Schopenhauer, the German philosopher with a razor-sharp mind and zero patience for fluff, is offering a different take. For him, being alone isn't a problem to fix, it's a privilege. Schopenhauer didn't just tolerate solitude, he celebrated it. He saw it as the ultimate flex of a strong mind. In a world obsessed with noise, think 24/7 news cycles, viral TikToks, and group chats that never sleep, Schopenhauer's like, "Nah, I'm good, I've got me." Picture Schopenhauer as that friend who's totally fine, ditching the party to read a book or take a solo hike. In his writings, like aphorisms on the wisdom of life, he argues that great minds don't need a crowd to feel alive. Why? Because the constant need for external validation, likes, retweets, or that nod from your boss, is a trap. It's what keeps most people stuck in a cycle of chasing approval instead of building something real inside themselves. Schopenhauer wasn't anti-social. He just knew that the deeper you go within, the less you need from the outside. Let's go back to Sarah, our Chicago marketing manager. After that lonely Tuesday night, she decides to lean into the silence instead of running from it. She turns off her phone, grabs a notebook, and starts writing. No agenda, just thoughts. At first, it's uncomfortable. Her mind races with worries, regrets, that one awkward thing she said at a meeting last week. But then, something shifts. She starts to hear herself. Not the Sarah who's killing it at work, or the Sarah who's always on for her friends, but the Sarah who dreams of starting her own business, who loves painting but hasn't touched a brush in years. In that quiet, she finds clarity. That's solitude, Schopenhauer's fortress. For Schopenhauer, solitude is where you become your own best company. It's not about cutting people out or becoming a hermit. It's about knowing you're enough, even when the world's not clapping for you. Think of it like this. In a culture that's always shouting, "Look at me," solitude is your chance to say, "I see myself." It's where you recharge, reflect, and rediscover what lights you up. Schopenhauer believed the ability to be alone is a mark of greatness, not because you're better than others, but because you've learned to find strength in your own mind. You've built an inner sanctuary that no one can take away. But let's be real, this isn't easy. Sitting with yourself means facing the good, the bad, and the messy. Your doubts, your fears, that voice in your head that says you're not enough. Schopenhauer knew this, and he didn't sugarcoat it. Solitude isn't a quick fix or a motivational poster. It's a discipline. It's choosing to be with yourself, even when it's hard, because you know that's where the real growth happens. Part 3. Why loneliness hurts, and what it's trying to tell you. So why does being alone feel like a gut punch sometimes? It's not just the absence of people, it's the presence of you, unfiltered and raw. Psychologically, we're wired to seek connection, but modern life has twisted that instinct. From the time we're kids, we're taught to chase external validation, get good grades, be popular, win at sports, post the perfect selfie. We learn to measure our worth by what others think, and in the process, we lose touch with our own voice. Think about how this plays out. You're scrolling X, seeing everyone's curated lives, vacations, promotions, relationship goals. You feel a pang, not because you want their life, but because you're not sure what you want. That's the emptiness of loneliness. It's not about missing a party or a partner, it's about missing your own direction. Psychologists call this internal dissonance, the tension between the self you show the world and the self you've buried. When you're alone, that tension becomes impossible to ignore. Let's break it down with another example. Meet Jake, a 28-year-old software engineer in Seattle. Jake's life is busy, coding all day, hitting the gym, grabbing drinks with co-workers. But on a rainy Sunday, when his plans fall through, he's stuck at home. No emails to answer, no group chat to jump into, just him and his thoughts. At first he tries to fill the void, scrolling X, playing video games, ordering takeout. But the emptiness lingers. Why? Because it's not about the lack of people, it's about the lack of him. Jake realizes he's been so focused on climbing the tech ladder, he hasn't stopped to ask what he's climbing toward. Is this job his dream, or just what he fell into? Does he even like the person he's become? That emptiness is what Kierkegaard called the silent abyss. It's the gap between who you are and who you could be. And it hurts because it carries the weight of every time you've said yes when you meant no, every time you've silenced your dreams to fit in, every time you've chosen comfort over truth. But here's the thing. That pain isn't your enemy. It's your guide. It's your soul saying, "You're off track, come back." Loneliness is like a check engine light for your life. It's not there to punish you, it's there to get your attention. Part 4. From loneliness to solitude. Your path to inner strength. Here's where the magic happens. Loneliness doesn't have to be a dead end. It can be a doorway to something deeper. Solitude. The difference? Loneliness is feeling empty, like you're missing something. Solitude is feeling whole, like you've found yourself. But getting there isn't automatic. It's a journey, and it takes work. Here's how to make it happen. 1. Embrace the discomfort. Stop running from the silence. Next time you're alone, don't reach for your phone or turn on the TV. Sit with the quiet. Let the unease wash over you. Write down what you're feeling. Fear, boredom, sadness, whatever. Accepting the void is the first step to filling it with something real. 2. Ask the hard questions. This is where you channel Kierkegaard's intensity. Grab a journal or just talk to yourself. No judgment, it's 2025. We're all a little weird. Ask, what am I avoiding? What do I want that I'm not chasing? What parts of me have I ignored to fit in? These questions are like a flashlight in the dark. They'll show you corners of yourself you didn't know existed. 3. Build your inner world. Solitude isn't just about being alone. It's about making that alone time mean something. Schopenhauer would tell you to fill it with things that spark your soul. Read a book that challenges your worldview. Try philosophy, like Nietzsche, or a novel that hits deep, like Toni Morrison. Take a walk without your phone and notice the world, the way the leaves move, the smell of rain. Meditate for 5 minutes, even if it feels awkward. Paint, write, cook something from scratch. These aren't just distractions, they're ways to reconnect with your core. Choose connection, not dependence. Solitude doesn't mean shutting people out. It means not needing them to feel complete. When you're solid on your own, you bring something real to your relationships. You love because you want to, not because you're afraid of being alone. You show up as yourself, not a version trying to please everyone else. Let's revisit Sarah. After that Tuesday night, she starts small. She sets aside 1 hour a week. No phone, no distractions. She calls it her soul hour. At first it's brutal. Her mind won't shut up. Work stress, that fight with her mum, the ex who ghosted her. But she keeps going. She writes down her thoughts, even the messy ones. She starts painting again, something she loved as a kid but gave up in college. Slowly, the silence stops feeling like a threat. It becomes a space where she can dream, plan, and figure out what she wants, not what her boss or her followers expect. That's solitude. turning loneliness into a choice, a strength, a home. Part 5. The Trap of Running Away. Here's the hard truth. Our world is built to keep you distracted. Think about it. Your phone pings every 5 seconds. X notifications, work emails, that group chat planning brunch. Social media rewards you for performing, not for being real. Work culture glorifies the hustle, as if slowing down means you're failing. Even our downtime is scripted. Binge this, buy that, be everywhere all at once. It's like we're all starring in a reality show called Never Be Alone with Your Thoughts. Kierkegaard would call this the ultimate betrayal, fleeing from yourself. Every time you scroll to avoid silence, every time you say yes to plans you don't want, every time you chase someone else's definition of success, you're running from the one person you can't escape. You. And that escape comes at a cost. It's the anxiety that hits you at 3 a.m. It's the feeling that no matter how much you achieve, it's never enough. It's the nagging sense that you're living someone else's life. Jake, our Seattle coder, feels this every day. He's killing it at work, but he's exhausted. He's always on, answering Slack messages at midnight, posting witty X updates, keeping up with his CrossFit crew. But when he's alone, he feels like a fraud. Why? Because he's been so busy playing the part of successful tech bro, he's lost sight of what he actually wants. Kierkegaard would say Jake's in silent despair, a life that looks full but feels empty because it's built on running away. The scariest part? This kind of running is so normal, we don't even notice it. We've normalized being disconnected from ourselves. We've made it okay to live on autopilot, chasing external wins while ignoring the internal void. But here's the good news. You can stop. You can choose to stay. You can decide that the next time you're alone, you'll listen instead of scrolling. That's where the real freedom begins. Part 6. The courage to come home to yourself. So, how do you stop running? It starts with one brave choice: to face yourself. Not with judgment or shame, but with curiosity. Imagine you're meeting yourself for the first time. What would you ask? What makes you laugh? What breaks your heart? What do you want your life to mean? These aren't just questions, they're the keys to unlocking your truth. This isn't a one-and-done deal, it's a practice. Start small. Try 5 minutes of silence a day. No phone, no music, just you. Write down one thing you're grateful for, one thing you're afraid of, one thing you want to change. Build habits that ground you. Maybe it's a morning walk where you leave your AirPods at home. Maybe it's reading something that makes you think. Try Kierkegaard's Fear and Trembling or Schopenhauer's essays, or even a novel that hits you in the soul like The Alchemist. Maybe it's picking up a hobby you loved as a kid, like drawing or playing guitar. These are the bricks of your inner fortress. And here's the payoff. When you learn to be with yourself, everything changes. You stop needing others to validate you. You stop chasing empty goals. You start living with intention, not reaction. Sarah, our Chicago marketer, finds this when she starts her soul hours. She realizes she doesn't want to climb the corporate ladder. She wants to start her own design studio. Jake, our Seattle coder, discovers he's been coding for a paycheck, not passion. He starts taking night classes in environmental science, something that lights him up. They both find that solitude isn't loneliness, it's freedom. Part 7. Your call to action. Loneliness isn't a flaw, it's a teacher. Kierkegaard showed us it's a call to be real. Schopenhauer proved it's a path to strength. Psychology tells us it's a signpost, pointing you back to yourself. But none of this works unless you take the first step. So here's my challenge. The next time you're alone, don't run. Don't grab your phone. Don't drown out the silence. Sit with it. Ask yourself, what's this emptiness trying to tell me? What do I want that I'm not chasing? Who am I when no one's watching? If this hits home, drop a comment below. Share one thing you've learned about yourself in your moments alone. It doesn't have to be profound. Even a question is a start. Your story might spark something for someone else on this journey. And if you're ready to go deeper, check out my ebook, Beyond the Shadow, in the pinned comment. It's packed with tools to help you face your inner world, inspired by thinkers like Jung, Kierkegaard, and Schopenhauer. No fluff, just clarity. Hit subscribe if you're done with quick fixes and ready for real transformation. This channel isn't about feel-good vibes. It's about facing the hard truths and building a life that's yours. Let's keep this conversation going. What's your next step?